Well, that's intense. We were about to dive in here and then killer whales ended up being in our spot. Actually, it's their spot. But yeah, we are not going to dive here now because we don't want to get a fine, but awesome scenery. I knew I'd see some whales when my camera crapped out. That's why I've been avoiding diving. Because I knew I'd see something awesome and not have my 4K camera with me.
I don't know what they're looking for.
Oh, Murphy's Law. Every time. It's a gorgeous morning. I made the long 2.5-hour drive out to the west coast of Vancouver Island. Tom invited me out on his boat. We're gonna do some spearfishing today. I'm not sure who he brought with him. He's got a mystery crew, but it's gonna be an awesome time. It's truly a stunner, like one of the most nicest days I've seen this year. Not a breath of wind, sun shining, not supposed to be windy in the afternoon. All we have to do is cross our fingers and hope that this is awesome. My camera, my big one's still in the shop, so I'm gonna have to be a bit creative with my GoPro. At least it's repairable, $420 versus buying a new one, which would be pushing $1,700. Right now it's about 9:30. Everybody else is meeting up around 10. Got here a bit early. I'm just gonna stretch out and relax and start seeing faces as they show up one at a time. What's up, man? How's it going?
Good, good.
You living life? Living the dream?
Yeah, yeah.
Sick, man.
It's hot out here. Last time I was out here, it was freezing.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
I know.
Such a nice day.
I brought my heavy clothes.
Diving?
Yeah.
That's insane, man. Decided to catch a big Ling or something?
I guess so. I don't know.
Tom brought an awesome crew with him from Campbell River in Victoria. We loaded up and set course. We were all itching to get in the water. One of the engines was stalling out, but luckily, with all the experience on board, the issue was quickly diagnosed and we patched things up and headed out on one engine. Not ideal, but roll with the punches. This is a spot here, this offshore pinnacle. You can only hit this on certain days, and today's one of them. Still a bit of water movement out here, but it's looking pretty awesome.
Oh, look at that huge lion's mane.
Oh, whoa. That thing's giant, man.
Yeah. Don't get that in your face, Yas. Woo. That one stings.
I know.
Have you done it?
No, but very close. It was like on my suit once.
There are a few jellyfish in our waters that can cause an unpleasant sting, but unless you're allergic, it will be non-life threatening. I got stung by a man-o-war while in Bermuda, and those pack a more serious punch. I can't say it was fun, or I'd recommend it. The current and swell was in our favor, but the visibility, not so much. Oh well, can't have it all. The structure here was really nice, and not a square inch of the reef was left uncovered in life. The fish surrounding the reef, on the other hand, well, they were missing in action. We searched high and low, and besides some small rockfish and perch, we came up empty-handed. Sometimes it's better to admit defeat, save your energy, and move to the next spot. We pulled the anchor and continued the journey. Spot 1 was a bust, but no biggie. The sun was out, and our spirits were high. Dude, we could have been diving in there by mistake.
Hey.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. Now if we go in, we get a fine.
Yeah. Once we saw the killer whales, we turned the boat to neutral and enjoyed the show from a respectful distance. Keeping a minimum distance from marine mammals is the law, and the minimum distance depends on the species, location, and time of year. If you spend time on the water, please familiarize yourself with the regulations by reading through the link in the description. Thanks. Spot number 2. The first spot wasn't the greatest. The visibility was a bit poor, and ended up being some surge and no fish. So we cruised to a bay, saw some orcas in there. Can't dive with those. Really cool to look at though, really awesome sight to see. But yeah, we cruised away from there and found a little spot that we're gonna check out. Haven't been here before, none of us have, so hopefully we see some fish. Who knows though? We definitely saw fish at the second spot, but we also saw a bunch of sea lion. Although killer whale have never attacked a human in the wild, we knew they were actively hunting in the general area, and none of us felt very comfortable hanging around. I guess one positive to being attacked by an orca is your name would end up in a history book. It would be an epic way to go at least. We're here at our third spot. Third time's the charm, maybe. Bit of a recon today, looking around at spots we couldn't really access when the swell's up. Today wasn't perfect conditions, but good enough to go explore. We're hitting up one last spot here. Actually, as far as I know, one last spot, maybe more, but we should have success. Either way, really cool to see those whales. Visibility is improving. Every spot we go to keeps getting better. Whales, sunshine, the ocean, what a life. Turns out, third time was the charm. The visibility had improved tenfold, and the structure was awesome. And we were seeing a lot more fish to top it off. I started out with this dusky rockfish, or is it a deacon, or maybe a blue? So many species. Unless you have an ID book in your back pocket, it's easy to mix them up. The aggregate limit for rockfish in this area is 3, but only one of which can be a quillback or china. Other species like yellow eye are off limits. I wasn't even looking for a ling cod when this guy jumped right in front of me. I generally try and swim down to my catch to ensure it's secure, but I saw this guy towards the end of my dive and my gas tank was running low. Having a tuned flopper is key while spearfishing. If it doesn't deploy and you start pulling on your shooting line, you'll lose your fish. Even still, I try and put as little tension as possible on the shaft to ensure the fish won't rip free. I successfully brought this guy to the surface and brained it moments later. 4th ling cod of 2022. Some people will harvest 3 in one outing. Although legal in some areas, I find it a bit excessive, especially if all taken from one reef. Use your head and at least spread the pressure out. I shot my ling cod and 3 rockfish, but I wanted some green ling frozen in the freezer, ready to go for the next batch of ceviche. Freezing fish in a residential freezer for 7 days is sure to kill off any parasites. Greenling are annoying. I see them all over the place until I'm actually hunting them. It took me way too long to shoot these fish. I was actually relieved once I secured my protein, as I wanted to turn the camera around and catch some scenery. This fried egg jellyfish was gargantuan, easily the biggest I've seen while in the water. Jellyfish are pretty fascinating and are one of my favorite creatures to watch swim around in the water column. We're pretty lucky that none are very venomous in British Columbia. Sunshine and kelp, name a better duo. We got pretty lucky with the conditions. Moving around from spot to spot sure paid off. We didn't even have to dive. There was so much to be seen right from the surface. This clip was from roughly 15 feet of water. And this one from 10 all the way up to the surface. I know you have eyes and you don't need this commentary, but look at all the colors. It's seriously jaw-dropping. I'm not one to tear up, but sometimes it's hard not to when face to face with such immense beauty. I'm so lucky to live these experiences. Thanks for the invite, Tom. We cruised back to the dock, loaded up with unforgettable memories. We did really good out there. I got this nice ling cod. Probably the biggest one I shot this year. Not unreasonably big, but yeah, this guy probably pushing 75 centimeters, maybe even 80. This rockfish, this guy's maybe a bit excessive, but yeah, biggest rockfish I've shot. Big dusky. They look like black rockfish, but different species. I got my 3 greenling for some ceviche, and I got this dusky too. I actually shot another dusky, but he fell off my stringer. I looked down and he was gone. I looked around for him, no luck. I wasn't going to shoot another one because I shot my 3 and I'm not greedy. And it's a moment far for losing that one. Should have been more secured on my carabiner here. Awesome time in the water. Thanks by the way, ling cod and rockfish for feeding me and my family. So it's the next day. I spent all day cleaning up and preparing this fish. Got some vacuum sealer bags. But the ling cod, we are going to prepare some beer battered fish and chips with. It's our first time doing this, so wish us luck. We make some batter, coat mine in some chili powder beforehand, and then fry her up in some hot oil. Very, very healthy. Making beer battered fish and chips is messy, unhealthy, and a bit of a pain. But it's something different and a nice change from time to time. First step, cut the fish into small pieces. My wife and I agreed the smaller pieces turned out better. We didn't have any, so Jasmine whipped up some homemade tartar sauce. Malt vinegar is also key. I bought a tall can of Corona for the beer, and it seemed to work great for the batter. The key is to ensure it's ice cold. By the way, I'm gonna leave a link for the recipe we used in the description. I'm sure there's a ton out there, but we're happy with this one. Cover the fish in batter and drop it into canola oil at precisely 350 degrees Celsius. Cook until golden brown or as desired. As noted already, it's far from a healthy meal, but it's a tasty one. These fish nuggets would also taste great in a burrito. Golden brown goodness. Thanks for joining the adventure. Support my channel by throwing the video a like, sharing with a friend, or leaving a comment. Peace and love, everybody.